Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Chris, and on comes I have Wendy. What a lovely morning this day. We are on the western part of Masai Mara. Beautiful, beautiful sunrise. Our plan is to move around the marsh. Probably we'll get some of those lines. We expected maybe they might have made a hunt tonight. And we are also super excited because of how the weather is turning up. Definitely most of those animals will be active quite early. Good morning, Sok. Yes, it's a beautiful, stunning moment in Mara. Thank you for keeping up with us. We appreciate all our viewers. So are the birds up on the tree? They're in the sulate mode. I cannot pick it. It's one of those starlings. Probably the superb starling. There it goes. They will be up in this moment to warm themselves, ready for the day's duty. Of course, in the background, we have quite a number of larks, which are calling, the grassland larks. Looks a very, very bright and promising day. Over to James on the southern side of Masai Mara.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Safari Live Sunrise. My name is James. Behind me, I have Mpo. And it's a really bright morning here. We are very much happy to have a giraffe who is saying jambo jambo. Actually, it was a really very nice sunrise with the giraffes in the silhouette. It's good to wake up in the morning and find this tallest animal in Africa. He's just alone, though I saw one in a distance. Giraffes are very curious about what's happening. So he's really been watching Mpo here as he's doing his camera work. So it's really walking slowly with 10 steps, then stop, look around, wave the ears. Although that's true, we always like seeing the giraffes with the sunrise or the sunset. This is a good start of the day. It's a male giraffe, I can tell, with the thick ossicons. He's looking behind for his one colleague in the distance. And there we can hear the zebra. It's a really lovely morning here. It's going to be a warm day. Actually, yesterday went up to 30 degrees Celsius. So I think it's going to be a very happy morning. Meanwhile, I'll send you over to Sheldrick to enjoy the lion sighting.
Well, still here with the two Nzenga boys. So these guys are about 10 years old, so they're proper age. Come call for us, mister. Oh, but they are beautiful, eh? Oh, they're stunning males. They come from the south, so they come from an area called Mala Mala. I used to roam around there most of the time, and as I said, over the last several months, it seems like they decided to push north into this area, which is very good for us, and for like, you know, when it comes to cubs and all that, and good for a pride called Nkuhuma pride. There were so many different coalitions that was bumping into this area over the last three and a half years. It was very unstable when it came to male coalitions. So nice to see that these guys have decided to really hold down here, roaring all the time, scent marking all the time, excuse me, patrolling all the time, and keeping sure that you know, giving the females that confidence, and then for them to know that they've got this security here. They know that there is bodyguards for them, so if there's any other nomadic males coming through, Hungry, Po, Siseka, that lioness had lost her cubs now to the hyenas. You know, this is the interesting part about it, because I feel that there is a bit of mourning. There is like a mourning where they mourn for the loss of their youngsters. You know, there is a certain time period. How quick she'll go into heat again after hyenas killed the cubs, compared to if other males killed the cubs. So, you know, maybe that could be also a little bit of a time difference. It all depends, but, you know, it's difficult to say. Each one is different. I mean, if you actually look at all the litters and all that, and you look at the time periods between them going into heat and that, it's you know, when they lose their cubs, or if their cubs are growing up and now they have to go into heat again. So, you know, there's a lot of different timings and all that. So, you know, give and take maybe in the next month or two. So we all just have to keep an eye on that. Just remember, Siseka, that lioness is a new mom. It's her first time being a mom. You know, so yeah.
Step into the exciting world of the original science. Next September, Master Tracker Renus Mhlongo and Wild Earth Steve Falconbridge lead a spectacular safari through the Kruger, where you'll learn to identify tracks and then trail iconic big game on foot. Days are spent immersed in the field, evenings around the fire sharing stories, from the hair-raising to the hilarious. This is the ultimate wild immersion for the nature connoisseur.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
Would you like to know the difference between a male and a female wildebeest? You can ask me questions like this in real time. Our safaris are live and interactive here in the heart of Africa. Join me on SafariLIVE and connect with nature. Look at this.
Wow, that's amazing, everybody.
We'll see you there.
to look. It's too astounding for words. Unreal.
This is what they call a shampi, a family, a whole herd of elephants.
Nature is just everything.
We will be extending the show by a few minutes.
A fascinating animal that kind of draws people to it.
We'll see you out on the safari. And you can see these guys, even the one's got this beautiful dark mane, the one that's on screen now. Very stunning, beautiful, actually like a two-tone. Alright, well, we are gonna make space for these other vehicles. As I said, there's loads of standbys for these guys now. I think let's head back to Sandringham to catch up with Leon.
Thanks, Cedric. Yeah, it's always sad, when a favorite animal goes through a loss or something like that. But I have a story to tell, and I'm going to keep it brief because I know some of you have heard this before, so I will keep it as brief as I can. In my years at Mala Mala, which was about 14 years, from the early 90s to the mid-2000s, first decade of 2000, one of my very favorite leopards was a leopard called the Jakkalsdry male. He was a great leopard, and he spent most of his time in the southern half of the reserve. Great territorial leopard, good leopard to follow. But I'd just come back from leave, and I was sent down to Harry's camp. Mala Mala had 3 camps, Mala Mala main camp, Kirkman's, and Harry's at that time. And Harry's was a lovely camp. I loved the spot. It was the lowest budget of the camps, and you know, on the veranda you had this cane furniture with the old animal print cushions. That kind of style camp. Very, very nice camp, lovely spot. More affordable for a lot of South Africans and others. Anyway, I just got back from leave, and there were only 2 rangers there, and I was the one, and I was looking after the camp at the time for those few weeks. Adam was the other one, and Adam said to me, "Leon, I know how much you love the Jakkalsdry male, that I think he's on his way out." Now, this leopard was already old, I guess 11, 12 maybe, and so yeah, I was a bit concerned about that. So I said, "Adam, where did you last see him?" He said, in the Sand River, just downstream of Harry's. He left him sleeping under a wild date palm, I think it was. So I had new guests, and I said to them, "Look, Adam saw a leopard this morning, and we're going to go and follow up." I didn't say to him, "This leopard is maybe dying, maybe on his last legs or whatever." And we drove down to the area, went exactly to the spot where Adam had seen the leopard. I kind of almost thought, I wonder if he's died and maybe lying under that wild date palm. But he wasn't there. So that kind of gave me some hope that, well, he hasn't died just yet. So my tracker, Luxon, and I got off and had a look around for tracks. We found tracks. They were easy enough to follow. Luxon was sitting on the back of the vehicle. The trackers in those days sat right on the back, and he was actually standing to look while I was driving, following the tracks. You could see the tracks there. Suddenly Luxon said, there he is. And yes, there he was. He was under another bush, lying down, head up. So I let the guests just take the moment in for a while, and I had a look with binoculars, not saying too much, just wanted to see, how does he look? Okay, he looked old, but his head was up. He was showing some interest. So I got a little bit more positive about things. And then he got up and he started walking. And he was walking, but with very little enthusiasm, not much energy. He was, his tail was down, and he was old, but he's not dying. But I think we need to quickly go back to Ben, see what he's found. I'm going to continue the story when you come back to me. Let's go over to Ben for now. Leave you in suspense.
Well, looky what we found, everybody. The baboons were right. I'm not sure where the baboons are, but we went in their general direction. We heard the calls, and look what we found. We have got Katlego on the left and Isacho on the right. Our two cheetah boys here on Mabula, and they are busy eyeing up some potential breakfast as well in the direction that they are looking in the distance. I have to say, probably about 80 meters, 100 meters away, there are both zebra and wildebeest busy grazing, which they are watching very carefully. But it's a very open area here. They don't have a huge amount of cover, but cheetahs, of course, are not particular ambush hunters. They're happy to spring the trap from a lot further away than a lion or a leopard would. So, but I get the feeling they are just going to sit here and wait to see whether or not their potential prey may approach them and make life a little bit easier. When we first got here, they were both lying right next to each other. Then Isacho, who's there in the front, seems to be the most interested. As you can see, look at that posture and behavior. He took a few steps forward, but they're definitely watching with great interest. Oh. Here they go. They've still got quite a big distance to cover, and very little cover for them, as you can see. I don't know if they've isolated a particular potential prey item, so it's rather difficult to show you. They're sort of behind the trees, but I can see wildebeest and zebras, and there are baby of both in that area. Okay, very slow, deliberate footsteps. Oh. It's gone and stopped again, right behind the tree. The other one still is in the same spot. Problem is, I don't want to move at the moment. I don't want to disturb things. But there is the other one still at the back. Katlego still weighing up his options. Can you still see the other one there, Bibo? Yeah. Okay, so Bibo can see the other one. I can't from where I'm sitting. Ah, there it is, just through the trees. But there's definitely some wildebeest with some little ones skipping around, but I'd say there's still a good 80 meters between them. Unless there's something closer that we can't see. I can hear some snorting of a wildebeest. I don't know if they've been rumbled, but looking at the reaction of the other animals, I don't see them looking in this direction, but I can hear some goof, goof noises from a wildebeest somewhere. Matthews, yes, in full stalk mode, if they were then, even if only briefly. There's actually a whole bunch of zebra coming in their sort of general direction now. A full-grown zebra is a little bit much for these cheetah, but we know they did kill a zebra calf the other day. So here come the zebras. I think they would probably more likely have their eye on one of those baby wildebeest. Well, you never know, Anna-Marie, you never know. But so the other day, it was after drive, but a whole group of zebra sort of ran past these two boys from probably no more than 10 meters away, and they didn't even flinch. They were quite happy to watch the zebras go past. So despite the fact that any movement is interesting, I don't think they're going to try their hand at a full-grown adult zebra, and I didn't see any little foals in that group. So I imagine they'd be more interested in the young wildebeest, which are over to the right. But I can't actually see them now. I'm not sure whether that activity from the zebra has just pushed the wildebeest in the other direction, perhaps. You can see here Katlejo at the back, despite the zebras are here. I mean, that's not in full hunt potential pounce mode yet. They do have a little bit of growing to do. They still look like they're only just over 2 years of age. Not quite as fully filled out as I would expect to see a fully mature male cheetah. Still a little bit of sort of ruffles around the neck there as well. Almost looks as if he's beginning to fall asleep, this one, just dropping the head a little bit. And so we did hear some alarm calls from a wildebeest, but I don't know if it was necessarily for these two, because you normally expect them all either to run off or come and investigate closer, and I can't really see the wildebeest now, but they didn't run away. It may have just been a coincidental alarm call, perhaps for something else, jumping at their own shadows. They do that sometimes, the wildebeest. Particularly if they see movement somewhere and they're just not sure what it is. Better safe than sorry. Should we try and move forward a touch? Biba, are you happy to do that? I'm just going to try and move forward so we can get in front of this little block of trees which is blocking our view of the front runner here. Let's just see if we can get you a clearer view just in case this one does decide to go for something. Let's try here. Bit more? Say when? Okay, so you can see the zebras still in the background, but they're not really interested in the zebras, looking more in the direction that they're facing. That's where the wildebeest were. I can now see the wildebeest. They've moved a little bit further to the left. They've actually put a bit more distance between them and the cheetah, so it'll be interesting to see whether they do try and stalk a little bit closer. But they're probably very mindful of the fact that the zebra are here. Don't want to give their position away too much. Remember, all the other animals have pretty much learnt over the years the alarm calls of each other, even if they may not speak the language. It's a bit like even if you have no knowledge of a particular language, you can sense the expression and perhaps get a general idea of what is being said, particularly if it's an expletive or something important happening. You read the body language. And a lot of the other animals do key off each other in terms of predator avoidance and alertness. And this is the first time we've seen them potentially sort of stalk something since we've been here, and it will be interesting to see if it happening repeatedly, whether this one always takes the lead, or whether they share it, whether they have any sort of specific techniques that they're going to employ. We know, for example, with lions, that generally speaking, each lioness has its own role in the hunt. Generally, the one that always goes loops around to the right will always be the one that loops to the right, and the one that loops to the left will always be the one that loops to the left. It's like positions on a football pitch or something. It'll be interesting to see whether these two employ a similar tactic. Okay, we are going to sit here. We're not going anywhere. You'll be the first to know if anything changes, but we're going to send you over to Cedric while we wait for this to play out.
All right, thank you, Ben. All right, we have actually made our way towards where the den is. Now, you must remember, she's already been here. The lioness already came here to try and investigate on where cubs here. Cubs are gone, so she's already been here. So that is done, and I think she must probably went to go and join the rest of the pride. Well, I do hope so. But anyway, on top of that, I'm going to quickly show you here. So she came in here. So you can see this tracks here. So she came in, and then she's gone out. So she came in to take a look, and she went out. So what we're going to do here now, we're going to follow quickly here. So this is where she's come in here. There's also hyena tracks. There's hyena tracks that side. Most of the hyena tracks has gone into that little section there, but it's a bit thick there. So this is where she's pretty much come in, most probably during the night. And unfortunately, this is not exactly, the little cubs were just there. So see, there's not enough space for the cubs to really go and hide. You can get under there, but if a hyena wants to get to the cub, unfortunately this little den site here is a den site that is not going to hide the cubs too well. And that's exactly, so the hyenas came in here and grabbed them from this side, and then she came in here during the night. She most probably came in that side and checked around, and then she walked out here. You can see the grass here as well, flattened down, so she must have just climbed out from this side, and then she went completely out here. You can see even the track of hers here. You can see her track here, 1, 2, 3 lobes and 4 pugs. So yeah. All right, well, we're gonna get out from this area. Let's head over to Leon.
Thanks, Cedric. Yeah, well, I'm going to continue later with that story of the Yakostra male, because while we've got this lovely elephant sighting around us, we need to enjoy that and not be distracted by tails of leopards. We're actually on our way towards the remains of that giraffe carcass from the Black Dam Pride's kill. We were there yesterday evening and there was virtually nothing left, but we could hear there were still 2 lions feeding. We did see 4 other lions nearby, but I want to go and see that giraffe's skeleton, to see the head, to see what it was, if it was a young male or not quite adult female or what. It wasn't a big adult male, that I can say for sure. But wow, this female elephant is not more than 10 feet from me, and so relaxed. It is special. Doesn't get much better than relaxed elephants nearby. Don't know, depending the age, when they're very young, they're not too sure how to eat branches, but it's quite fun watching them learn to chew on things. That little one there, that's really young. That's less than a year old, still learning the skills of trunk use. That's mother there and older sibling. Oh, I love the family bonds of elephants and the closeness. This is a really lovely herd that I'm enjoying being close to. I'm just going to duck because she's in front of the vehicle. Oh, how precious, how precious. hear that rumbling. They're just communicating with each other, basically saying all is good, everything's fine. No stressful sounds or anything at all. This is better, eating grass and greenery like that that is not involving any destruction or breaking of trees. Matty, it's so cute, isn't it, that little guy? Really? It's going to come out into view again shortly, I think. Mother went ahead, but there's a little gap. I'm hoping... There it comes. Oh, I love it. I wonder, should we reverse a little bit? Is it going to be beneficial?
Yeah, we can.
Just bear with me while we try to get another view. This is such a treat. I have to be careful reversing. I don't want to reverse off-road and get stuck. This would be nice on this side, I think. Ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. They've come into a bit of a clearing. Very, very wet underfoot here. We did see tracks just before we came upon these elephants. There were tracks of a single male lion going the way we had come from along the road. Reasonably fresh from last night or early this morning. Okay, they're walking off into the sun and into more difficult terrain, so I'm not going to stay. We're going to keep moving. Sorry about the rather bright sun behind me. I'll change to that camera. That was rather special, wasn't it? That was great. This road is one which we don't like to drive when it's too wet, like immediately after heavy rain. We gave it a break, this road, yesterday, so we took a different road to get to where that giraffe carcass was. So while we continue along here now, we're going to send you back to Ben, see what's happening with those cheetah at Mambula.
Well, welcome back to the scene here at Mabula. Nothing has changed. Neither cheetah has moved. They are still just watching, just looking. I think very much just biding their time and hoping that something that is a little more manageable than a full-grown zebra is going to step into their radar, where it will be worth launching something. Obviously the issue is here that we do have plenty of other vehicles that are keen to come in, so we're going to try and do our best to stay here as long as we can, but things do seem to have sort of settled. There has been a lot less engagement, shall we say, by these two cheetahs. We haven't seen any more stalking. The body language has relaxed significantally. Ketlejo, who I don't think we can see from where we've moved to get a view of Isacho here, is flat on the ground, hasn't even got really his head up anymore, has more assumed the sort of the side-on posture that we expect with cheetahs. I don't know if they've sort of decided that maybe it's all getting a little bit too hectic, and there's too many things that are going to maybe blow their cover. You can see still a big gap between the two of them. Bibo's just panning back. You can just see the other one lying in the grass there through the brush. Head hidden from view, but you can see not exactly super alert, with muscle tendons all stretched and ready to go. And quite a big distance between the two of them. There's probably 40 meters between the two now. Tristan, I'm glad that these boys have become your favourites and that we've been able to show you your favourites quite a few times over the last couple of weeks. I like their attitude. For youngsters, they've got a lot of zest, and so they are brimming with confidence, and they seem to have settled in here at Mabulla incredibly well. So if you're not aware, Mabulla did have a previous coalition of 2 males, one of whom was blind in one eye. And then they were relocated sometime last year, I can say now. These 2 were reintroduced, or were introduced here. They came from the Northern Cape. They were introduced to the reserve only in October, so only about 3 months ago, or 2.5 months ago. And they were very young. They were only 23 months, I think, when they arrived, so they are literally just over 2 years of age. But we have seen them feeding on a couple of different things. They look in very good condition, and so we've been told that they are not shy. They have attempted to take down full-grown wildebeest, which is about as big as it's going to get for a cheetah. Obviously having 2 of them helps, but they have been very successful thus far. And hopefully they will have a long and successful tenure here. Faster, the one wearing the collar is not this one. This is Isacho, and then we have Catlejo, and Catlejo is the one with the collar. He's the one who is, from where we are parked at the moment, we're not really able to see. We can see some of his body, but not his head. It's nice and relatively open here, but just with the way that things are orientated, we just can't get a good view of him currently. But yeah, he is the collared one of the 2. And then we've also got the 2 female cheetah here, who were all 4 of them were introduced in October. Queen, who we've seen, we've managed to put her on camera once, haven't we, Bibo? And then we saw her after drive one day as well. She also has a collar. The second female, and Sile, we haven't seen her yet, but I believe she is also collared as well. Just the conservation work being done here, so they can keep an eye on their territories, their home ranges, what they are eating, where they're hanging out. Very important to understand for the best future management practices. Okay, we'll keep an eye on what happens here, but we're going to send you up to James in the Mara now.
Thank you, and welcome to the topi here. I like animals with the letters, 4 letters on their names, like the topi. At first, I thought it's something to do with the behavior, where they usually stand on top of the termite mound in the heat of the day. But I came to know that it's something to do with the mud, as the breeding male, usually the territorial male, likes honing his head with the mud. I think the dirtier they are, the more pretty they are. The one looking at us on the left now is the male. Actually, this is a breeding harem, and already the mothers are in the rat season, meaning that they're already mating again after 5 months. I can see a big change. There is much more topi left in Masai Mara now than years back. I think it's going on very well with them. Actually, they are keeping us much more entertained than the wildebeest.
Oh, yes, there's a leopard. I've got a leopard here. My name is Cedric, and behind the camera with me we've got Muscles and Paw. Well, it is Feline Friday. My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. The best driver at Wild Earth, it is me. I believe I'm the best driver. I think so, because I've... best part of my job, I say, is just to try and look out for these animals, track them down. I love tracking animals. I love looking for, fresh tracks, and if you can find them, it's just at the moment of accomplishment. If I wasn't a presenter for Wild Earth, I would be the drummer for AC/DC.
Look at this.
Wow, that's amazing, everybody.
We'll see you there.
Have a look at this.
Wow, wow, wow.
I don't know where to look. This is just too astounding for words.
Unreal. This is what they call a shambe, a family, a whole herd of elephants.
Nature is just everything.
We will be extending the show by a few minutes.
A fascinating animal that kind of draws people to it.
We'll see you out on the safari.
Back starts out because they grow thick muscles on their neck. So from that last week, I've seen them Mickey, you're very right. The topi do join the Great Migration. We believe that there's about 300,000 of the topi, and they usually come with the zebra. The zebra are the pioneers. They're the first ones to arrive on tall grass plain, so they follow the zebra. Then from behind we have the wildebeest. Actually, I remember sometime I saw one topi lead a group of wildebeest and zebra cross the Mara River, so they are also very fond of crossing the river. They are always in good shape. They don't grow thin, or rather they don't grow weak. So they know how to actually adapt. And it's only that the mothers who have recently dropped their babies, they weaken a little bit, but at the moment they have very fast recovered. Usually the female will have horns, as they have hierarchy within the harem. So the horns will help them defend their young ones and also defend themselves from the enemies. They don't use their tail as much at the back compared to other animals that keep flicking their tail. We do see them having the ground on the front of their head. But meanwhile, I'll hand you over to Leon, see what he has out of the vehicle.
Well, I just wanted to continue with that story we started earlier about the Yakkelstra male. So, if you remember, it was Adam and I were the two guides at Harry's, and I'd found him, and he was on the move now, and we had been preparing for the worst because Adam had said he's on his way out. And as we saw him walking along, the tail was down, he wasn't looking great. But we followed him for a while, and I thought, yeah, he's not looking great, but maybe not death's door yet. So we followed him as long as we could, and eventually we lost sight of him. He crossed the boundary from Mala Mala into the Kruger. I keep looking over my shoulder. There are some elephants not too far off. But I kind of secretly thought to myself, I wonder if I'll ever see him again. Anyway, days passed. We didn't see the Yakkelstra male again. Saw some vultures, quite a lot of vulture activity. And then one morning I had new guests, and they were a bit late at getting up. They'd had a bit too much wine the night before, and they were a bit late at getting up, while Adam's guests had got up early and they'd gone out on their drive, I think probably half an hour before my guests were ready. I was chomping at the bit. I wanted to get out there because there's stuff to find and things to do. But anyway, eventually they came. My tracker Luxon was in the car, sort of a rotunda area, waiting for them to get there. And eventually they came. They'd had their coffee, and Luxon said to me, "Leon, hyenas are making a noise nearby here." So I thought, well, let's go follow up on these hyenas. So we went there and followed up on these hyenas, maybe 300 meters away from camp. And we found them. They were pulling at something, tearing it apart. And I thought, well, this is nice hyena activity. Let's see what they're eating. Hello, elephant. Just be good there. And I raised my binoculars, and with dismay, I saw it was a long spotted thing. Looked like a leopard's tail, so I knew it had to be the Yakkelstra male. So we looked at this hyena activity, pulling the tail apart, and I'm going to cut the story short, okay? Adam came later on because I said there's great hyena activity here, but I was convinced it's the Yakkelstra male. I'd said so on the radio. Adam came there later, and he had a look, and he said, "Leon, these hyenas are tearing apart a cushion cover. They'd got hold of one of the cushion covers on the veranda of their canned furniture, leopard print cushion cover, and they were pulling this cushion cover apart. So that's the tail of the Yakkelstra male, cut very short. We need to send you over to Ben with the cheetahs."
Well, welcome back everybody. We've got a little bit more interest being shown all of a sudden. Look at that pose, like an arrow ready to be fired. Some of these wildebeest are now moving in the general direction of these cheetahs. That's why the behavior has changed. But so he's got no cover. But as far as I can tell, he hasn't been spotted yet. But it's a bunch of adult wildebeest in the front. There are some calves milling around, but none of them are really close enough yet, I don't think, to justify an attack. But you can see how the body language has changed. It's just as things are beginning to come closer. If we're really lucky, hopefully they'll keep heading towards these two. Katleko in the background is still lying down, though. He doesn't seem to share the optimism that this one is having. Maybe this one is particularly hungry this morning, but we're hoping that we at least get to see, we won't see a cheetah in full flight, but at least we're hoping to see one attempt to get up to reasonable speed. I don't know if you want to show these wildebeest approaching, Bieber, just so people can get a lay of the land. So there's our front-running cheetah, and if we pan a little bit to the right, you should very shortly see the first of the wildebeest. There is the leading wildebeest, and there's a few now following behind with calves. And they're coming very much in the right direction as far as we're concerned. There's the rest of the group. You can see a couple of little calves there. I can hear a lot of sort of bleating. We've got another wildebeest sort of coming into the area, making a lot of noise. I hope this one doesn't bust something. Or possibly was just separated from the group and is returning. Well, Pam, they ignored the zebra because the zebra is just a little bit too much to bite off, really, a little bit too much to chew. If you are a cheetah, that is a very dangerous proposition. Risking serious injury, and no easy task to take out a wildebeest either, but they'll have their eyes on one of these youngsters. There you can just see the cheetah on the left of the screen, and the wildebeest are edging closer. There's probably about 50 meters between them now, but you can see that cheetah has gone flat in the grass, head down, very interested. Just trying to... Okay, just Bibo's got a better view of the other one than I have. Also saying that he's also gone very low in the grass now, trying to remain unseen. Oh, that wildebeest has just... No, I thought that lead wildebeest had just looked directly at the cheetah. But we've got two calves just out of shot on the right who are there, making their way directly towards these cheetah now. There's the female coming into screen on the right, and she's got two. There's the two little calves. That's going to be what they're aiming for, I'm sure. George, it seems not. No, most of their vision is good, but their vision is, like most things, keyed off movement. Those cheetah are motionless at the moment, so nobody has noticed them yet. There's a slight perspective thing here. So the wildebeest you can see whose tail there is probably a good 20 meters closer to us than the cheetah is, but where those calves are, they're making a beeline pretty much straight towards where that cheetah is laying. So you can just see the cheetah on the left of screen, and that little group on the right is going to be the object of their interest, I have no doubt. Be interesting to wait. They've actually got their backs to the cheetah. So I'm just saying they've actually got their backs to the cheetah, so now would be a good time actually to go for it. I would. Yeah, there we go. Oh, look at Mum doing a great job. Oh, I think Mum ran sufficient interference. It looks like the youngster escaped. Wow, how amazing was that? Your chaos. I don't think you got it, eh? No, we've lost them now. Oh, here comes the other one. There goes the other one. I think the other one started chasing something else in all of the chaos. But wow, that was exciting. They almost got there, huh? Oh, she's still going. Oh, I think no, he's going to have to give up, I think. Wow, how about that, everybody? A cheetah hunt, but without success, so it seems, but that was amazing. But how amazing was that to see Mum doing its thing, or doing her thing? She came in and ran interference on the cheetah there chasing after that calf, and as far as I can tell, everybody got away. Problem is we've lost visual of all cheetahs now. I don't know where anybody is anymore, but how cool was that, everybody? Wow. Yeah, I don't know where they've gone now. We're going to have to drive around and see if we can find, but pretty sure that no wildebeest were injured during the course of this filming. just waiting to see if we can get any indication of where anybody has gone. Otherwise, I think we may have to move around. Everything seems to have settled. The wildebeest have stopped running. The zebras have stopped running. Absolutely, Mum of the Month reward. She did a great job, but that just shows you her mother's instinct. What have you got there, Bibo? A warthog, okay. Unless the cheetah has learned to camouflage. I don't think that's him. But I think we're going to have to drive around and see if we can find anything, because they sort of went through the block in this general direction. But how amazing was that? I thought they were going to spring the trap because all their backs were turned. The cheetah will know that. They know that they had the advantage because no one was looking directly at them, and they were so close. And normally their success rate against calves is very, very high. You're looking at well over 50% for youngsters like that. But so thanks to Mum, I think she saved that little one's bacon. Speaking of bacon, our warthog is still running across the plains. Okay, let's go and see if we can find what happened, if we can. But that was pretty amazing. Wow, I'm a bit lost for words. But let's send you over to Cedric. He's also, I think, got some cats.
Alright, so we got the Nguma lions. Alright, all 7 of the females here in the Mulawati. And apparently there is 6 of those little cubs, but the 6 cubs is the ones, the 2-month old cubs. That is just around the bend. Unfortunately, no view on them. They're all hidden away. And we got the 7 females, and it's amazing. We drove past here. Actually, this spot here where I saw tracks of the lion this morning, as I kind of jumped out here and took a look. So I think they was probably still making their way here. So in the Mulawati drainage line. So we like to take locations down. We are pretty much between a place called Yagi Pan and Treehouse Pan in the Mulawati drainage. All 7 girls, how nice. I've got a feeling as well is that maybe they even came back just to support the other female, and she was calling, and they just maybe all came into this area just to give her a little bit of a support here. But how nice is this? Absolutely stunning. A nice little spot for lions as well. It's always nice, these drainage lines, nice and cool in here, especially today that there's no cloud cover. It's going to be a very sunny and hot day. You'll find that this little drainage lines holds the coolness for much longer, as well as the sand is nice and comfortable. So it's a perfect spot for them for the day. I don't think they're going to do too much. Yes, Kelly, more lions. I know that's Nkuma Pride is a fantastic pride, lovely pride just to always witness. Oh, lovely girls. And these 7 females. I mean, for 7 females, it's a strong pride. I mean, like if you think about it, it's 7 girls. It's pretty much adults, and these females are specialists at hunting things like buffalo. Well, there hasn't been much buffalo coming through the area, but apparently they took down impala during the night there on a property just north of Little Gowrie. Now, I'm going to just take a look at some of them. I just want to see. There's a female called Volombe. I just want to see if she's got any cycle marks yet, because I know it looked like she was pretty much looking a little bit pregnant the other day. So I just want to sit a little bit here and observe them, and give it a little bit of a scan between them. There's only the one female that's really enjoying a bit of grooming for the morning. Yeah, it's a 50 notes. They know how to rest nicely. And today like this, I don't think they're going to do too much. I'm sure by this afternoon we get back here, they might be in the grass, somewhere in the nice shady spots here. You can see she's going to look for another little spot. Now, from where these females are to where the two male lions that we had this morning, Zenga males, the dominant males of this pride, we're not far, maybe about 400, 500 meters from where we are. You never know, maybe the two boys will make their way into this area and come and join the girls. Alright, while I'm sitting here, I'm going to just do a little bit of observation on these gulls, just to see who's what and what's who. Let's head over to Chris with his lines.
Hey, thank you, Cedric. We are here with our Topi boys. Yes, these guys have done it again. We left them yesterday. They were all scattered in different areas, but they regrouped in the night, and they are very successful when it comes to doing this business. They have crushed all the bones, the rib cage, which is slightly very soft. They have eaten quite a lot of it. And in any sitting, a male lion like this can eat close to 25 to 40 or thereabout kilos, which will sustain it for slightly longer period, maybe 2 to 3 days before they make another attempt. Ah, yes, animal lover. It is always nice, and it's very good when you see them actually having a good meal, because that means they will be healthy, they will be in good shape, and they'll continue managing and terrorizing the territories. In the periphery, you can also see we still have some hyenas which are standing by, just in case they get some scraps or what is going to be left of this kill. Yeah, I see also some jackals which are also attempting. We have a lot of activity going on here, but meanwhile, let's go to Leon.
I was saying to Cam a little earlier when we were driving towards the area where we had 4 lions yesterday afternoon, I was going to say, are we going to have another, oh there they are, moment. Well, we passed that spot and have only come a few hundred meters from there, and indeed another, oh there they are, moment on the road, and near the road. There are now at least 8 members of the Black Dam Pride here, and blocking the road, so we won't be able to get past them to get to where the carcass was. There's a blonde 4.5-year-old male with his back to us. Now he was mating, we know he was mating on Monday. Fantastic mating activity. It was Monday afternoon with one of the females. That mating session would probably be over now because typically it lasts 4 or 5 days. And it's now Saturday, so if Monday was the first or second day, yeah, it would be over. But I don't think he or the other 4.5-ish-year-old male got to feed on the carcass. Leopard lover, yes. And they're looking so good. This Black Dam Pride, the lionesses are looking beautiful, clean, strong, healthy. Fantastic to see. But just to finish off something on that leopard story that I was telling, I know there's more important stuff to see. That cheetah action, wow, that sounded spectacular, that chase. I'm glad you didn't miss that. But there was a happy end to that story because remember, okay, we found the hyenas eating what turned out to be not a leopard's tail, but a cushion cover. But about 3 days after that, we found the Jakkalstra male leopard again, and he was looking good. He was looking strong again and in good shape, and he probably lived at least another 2 to 3 years. And but yeah, that was the tail of the tail of the Jakkalstra male, which was at my expense really, because that was so embarrassing.
I'm Ralph, and I'm taking you to Sibuya Game Reserve, which is one of the only game reserves in southern Africa accessed only by boat. We'll stay at the luxury forest camp overlooking the Kariga River with an abundance of bird life and animals grazing on the opposite bank. Luxury tented suites set in a riverine forest offers the perfect place for privacy and comfort. Join me on Sibuya and let's experience it together.
Oh, even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh! Woo! This is action-packed.
I get to wake up every morning and go out there and look for cats. I get to create my everyday safari for myself. I grew up in the sort of central eastern suburbs of Johannesburg, fully qualified trails guide and a fully qualified nature conservationist. I love the wild places. I love being in the wilderness. It's probably one of the best jobs I've ever had and probably ever could have. Wow, that's amazing, everybody. We'll see you there. Oh, have a look at this.
Wow, wow, wow. I don't know where to look. This is too astounding for words.
Unreal. This is what they call a shambi.
a family, a whole herd of elephants.
Nature is just everything.
We will be extending the show by a few minutes.
A fascinating animal that kind of draws people to it.
We'll see you out on the safari.
When I was approaching this sighting, I did come across a big clan of hyenas, which sometimes they end up even chasing the lions out of their spot. However, I don't think today they have a chance because we have 3 male lions. We also have other females not very far from where we are. We'll approach them at some point. So the only thing which will remain out of this is maybe bones and some skin, which I believe the hyenas will also cherish. If you notice, there's not so much of the deep breath because the weather is very cool. It's still very cool for them. I could see Moja Moja, he's also present, Otipo, all present. Suri is also present. We also have some more females who are approaching the prey. Let's hope they will find us here. So there will be there's going to be some more activities. Kaleo is also around with the babies. Yes, Joe, it's absolutely amazing when we see the complete pride of the marsh, all the ladies, all the boys, and more so having something to keep them going. What could you do? Ronald, you say that these topi pride are kind of managing or taking care of 2 prides. There is the other pride on the other side, close to the Talek, so they keep on moving in between. Remember, they are forced to reckon with. So you'll find them here in the Marsh Pride. You'll find them also in the Topi Pride. The only thing they don't do is they don't cross onto the other side of Angama Pride. But within the Topi area and the Marsh area, these are the boys who are ruling. Excuse me. Kaleo is approaching, and I think it's good for us to see. One of the female just approached and sat right, not very close. I think she's also waiting for a chance of to see if he can approach the prey. But let's look at Kaleo at the moment. She is approaching. I'm not very sure if she'll come straight to the where the babies or where the males are feeding, but let's see, because that will also determine her hierarchy within the pride. Beautiful playing boys of Kaleo. She is very confident, but I can see one of the males showing her teeth. Maybe the babies will be given priority, or one of the male has actually moved away to allow Kaleo to feed. Wow, she commands some respect. Okay, the babies have been welcomed by their fathers, and Kaleo has taken over the position of one of the males. The other female has gained confidence, and she's also approaching. Let's see how the reaction is going to be from the other. Yeah, the boys are relinquishing the prey for the ladies, which is a good sign. Kaleo is chasing one of the males. I think he is not the father of the cubs, and he wants him as far as possible to where the cubs are. The babies are following where the mother is. They'll be out of our screen. But this other female has come and joined the party, and Kaleo really is the queen of the marsh pride. She's chased away one of the females. She's glaring at one of the males and back to where the babies can have something to eat. But these two other males yes, came from the look of things. Yes, that's the reason why the fathers have no problem with the babies eating by them. They have been ruling the place for a very long time, so the answer to that is yes, they are the fathers of these cubs. You can pick also some of the resemblance amongst them. The spots, the dark part of one of them is slightly darker in complexion, which means he will either have some dark men. But what an alteration to see Kaleo chasing one of the big boys. I think it's one of them who could most probably was not raised or didn't know who joined the pride, but he's lower in the hierarchy. That is Queen Kaleo for you. And wherever such things happens, the babies will always try to move away from those fighting. Kaleo was disciplining one of the females who approached. And he's Moja Moja with the short tail. He's actually moving away from the one who is passing us is now Moja Moja. He's also been shown that, please, you better move away from Kaleo. Kaleo rules. The babies have gone quite far, not very far, but they're looking eye to eye with the jackals. I think they're like, what are these? That is Moja Moja having an altercation with one of the females. She is becoming submissive. She is playing a submissive. And the babies are just close by us at the moment. They're calling for the mom. The mom is busy eating. But they've also had some good mail from the look of their bellies. Yeah, the mother has heard the cry and they're approaching the mother. I can see one of the other male who was limping, approaching as well. Wow, the babies have a chance to feed now. Okay, this gentleman has had this injury for some times, but I think he's also pretty much like welcome. He's been given a position, and over to James on the other side, who also has some lions.
Thank you, Chris, for good timing. These are the honeymooners that we came across yesterday. At the moment, they are within their pride that I'm still coming to familiarization with. There's two other lionesses behind him and another male who is a few meters away. They are following a big herd of buffalo, and I thought probably by this morning they could have killed, not necessarily the honeymooners, but any other pride of lions. This is quite unusual to see the honeymooners around other lions as they take a break away from the main pride. It has been a chilly morning, so what they are doing is they are warming themselves. And there's no shade around here, so they probably will be moving in the next 1 hour. Apart from the honeymooners, everyone else is deep asleep. They haven't moved a lot. Stephanie, you're very right. Here in Masai Mara, we never lack babies. This being the peak, actually, November, December is the peak for the cubs. But still, there's a lot of food to keep the lambs going, so they're making more babies. I can say generally the population is getting up with more males. Yeah, the dynasties are spreading. We have much more prides forming, as we are having much more young boys born in the prides. So I'm very happy about the formation of different prides. I think in every corner of Masai Mara, there's a few prides. Even though the prides here, they don't get too large, we can get a pride which is less than 10. But in average, prides can be 15 of them. The population of the ratio of boys to girls is, I can say, 40% in a litter. So this is going to be a very nice boom for lions in the Mara in the next few years. She doesn't look really old, as she still has those spots. It's hard to tell whether it's her first honeymoon, but I think all of these young girls and the whole pride, it's pretty new, as they have occupied the Black Rock area, which has been empty for, I would say, over 1.5 to 2 years. As the original Black Rock pride have moved, found itself a different territory. Meanwhile, I'll send you over to Shedrick and see what kind of a snake he has.
Everybody look at this, we've got an interesting little snake here. Oh, it's going to go under the vehicle. Looks like a burrowing asp to me, but a very small one, a burrowing asp. Oh, don't go under the vehicle now, little one. I know they usually come out when it's after the rains and termites, feeding on little termites and that. So yeah, look at that. Isn't that quite stunning? Oh, don't go under my vehicle. Sorry, I'm just a bit worried that thing's going to go under my vehicle. I have to move it. Oh, sorry, little buddy. Don't. Ah! Okay, no. No. Don't go under there. Move. Sometimes I'm a bit worried that they do go under, and then all of a sudden they might crawl up into a tire and into your wheel arches and all that. Oh no, he's gonna go that way. Oh no. Oh. Candace. No, I don't think to crawl. There. Yes, Candace. Looks like a big earthworm. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. All right, let me just move this branch out the way. The one branch. Sorry, buddy. We don't want. Oh, don't come towards me. Come on, I just want him to get out under the vehicle so he's protected. All right, it's going that way. All right. So we're just going to wait for him a little bit here. Come on, buddy. All right, let's head over to Leon.
It sounds like Cedric's having a bit of amusement or entertainment over there. We're having a lovely little bonding session with these lions. Well, we're not bonding with them, they're bonding with each other. Cam says he feels he's bonding with them. They are certainly becoming more and more habituated. It's great. And we can take a lot of credit for that, because gentle approach, respectful approach, keeping distance, letting the animal decide what's a comfortable distance, all that's paying off hugely. I mean, those 4 that you see now in the picture are 7-8 meters from us at the most, I guess. Okay, I now have counted that there are at least 9. I thought 8 initially, but one has walked behind us, and there are at least 9, definitely. Thanks, Wildlife Cam. Well, we enjoy what we do, and that's essential. I think if you don't enjoy it, it's not going to come over well. So, yeah, we enjoy it, and if that comes over positively, thank you. We're glad about that. Enjoyment needs to be genuine. You can't fake it. You see, with this grooming, it's mainly bonding, but you know how dirty they were after eating that giraffe, so sometimes some of the blood gets licked off each other. So you might wonder why they are so clean again. It's partly from grooming. They're not as meticulous about self-grooming as leopards are. You know, leopard is generally solitary, so after feeding on a kill, he or she will almost always groom the face by licking the paw, wiping the face straight after feeding. They're very good about that. That's why you seldom see a leopard not looking clean and immaculate. I wonder when they'll next eat and what they will next eat. As we've said before, this pride seems to specialize on giraffe, especially when large numbers of the pride are together. But they're not all here, as far as we've seen. We've seen 9 I mentioned, but haven't seen them all this morning. Oh dear, Ben has fallen off his vehicle in Mabula. I do hope that he hasn't hurt himself. Let's go and check up with him.
No, I'm still okay, despite all the excitement that we've had. What a crazy morning, Saturday and some today. Well, after all the chaos, we thought we'd take it down a notch. Found something interesting on this big yellow thatching grass stem here. You can see this foamy structure here, which I originally thought was potentially a moth cocoon, but having come and had a closer look at it, particularly seeing these sort of seams, almost like a zip down here, I'm now erring on the side that this is actually a Mantis utica, which is an egg casing as opposed to a cocoon or a pupa, which is what we would call it if it was a moth. So an utica, we use that word for mantids but also for cockroaches, anything else that creates an egg case. So there isn't metamorphosis happening inside here, but what would have happened is the mantis, using special glands around her ovipositor at the tip of her abdomen, has created this sort of now solid foam-like structure, and inside here will be anywhere between 30 up to maybe a couple of hundred of little tiny eggs, which will slowly develop. And when those mantis nymphs have hatched, they will burrow their way out of here and go and enter the big bad world themselves. But when this is created, this is very soft and malleable, but it dries quite quickly in the sun. And it's a mixture of sort of polystyrene. I think polystyrene is probably the closest explanation or description that I could give you. But this is very important. It protects against potential predators like ants. It protects against desiccation, drying out in the sunlight, and gives those eggs a perfect little protected area from which to develop. I know some people thought perhaps this was the anal pasting of a hyena. If it was, this would be a giant hyena, because this is just under chest height for me. So that would be a terrifying hyena if it was. But no, it looks like a praying mantid uthika. Okay, let's send you back over to Leon with his lions.
Why does he lie exactly there where there's a branch blocking his face, just as you came to us? I'm going to just reverse again. Oh, actually, is that right for now? Yeah. We've got a branch, but a guari branch. There, this is the darker maned one. And he's kind of lying backside to backside with the blonder black dam male. They're having quite a lazy Saturday, aren't they, compared with the other lions you've seen at the other locations today? But resting up, that's what they do a lot of the time, and it's not laziness really, it's conserving energy. They spend a lot of energy when they're hunting. Digestion itself, the whole metabolic process, burns up a lot of energy. So even while they're inactive, their metabolism is continuing at quite a rate. People sometimes think if lions are very hungry, they're going to have more chance of hunting success. It's not necessarily the case, because lions that are well fed, I like to think of it as like a vehicle that's got a full tank of fuel, much more energy available for hunting. Julian, yes, thank you. It's been nice. It's been really nice to have these again and to share them with you. I'm still excited about that leopard we had, and we will, when we leave this sighting, I think we're going to go back into that general area. Maybe we'll see. Don't want to get too blasé or optimistic about leopard sightings here, but we're going to go back to that area. Stephanie, yes, it's important that we do that. I think it's great. So in the coming months and years, we are already reaping the benefits in terms of sighting quality. They don't have reason to look at our vehicle as something that gives a negative experience, because we never have. And it takes time for them to have that attitude and acceptance.
Join me at Mabula Private Game Reserve from the 10th until the 15th of March 2026 for exclusive 5 nights for only 6 guests here in a natural, relaxed environment. Explore South Africa's finest reserve here in the Waterberg and enjoy the wildlife and the diverse landscape.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
Wow, that's amazing, everybody. We'll see you there. Oh, have a look at this.
Wow, wow, wow.
I don't know where to look. This is too astounding for words. This is unreal. This is what they call a shambi, a family, a whole herd of elephants.
Nature is just everything.
We will be extending the show by a few minutes.
A fascinating animal that kind of draws people to it.
We'll see you out on the safari. All right, well, let's head over to James for the time being.
Quick response. We have a Savo cat who is very busy hunting. He's walking through the grass. I think he's looking for the birds that are nesting at the moment. He's got his ears focused because hunting in Savo is through listening. Allow me to change the direction, see whether he's got something. Yeah, they listen to the insects, and that's what they go for. It's part of their diet. He's having a very busy morning. I think this is my third Savo, meaning that the rain triggers them to come out. Let me do a quick follow up there. They like this tall grass as it's not very easy for them to be seen by the prey. They can jump 3 meters to get the birds. Not much is known about the Savo because they are not easily seen. Nobody have done research. Quinton, you're very right. Today is Saturday, so cats are just coming out by themselves. It's always nice to see a Savo, but at the moment, I think I've lost him or her. Yeah, it's a Lily Cat Saturday. I don't want to scare him up, so I'll wait here for a moment, as I think this is the only place he can hunt for the moment. The other places have got very short grass. We recognize a Savo as the cats with the shortest tail. I think for they jump 3 meters. They don't need a long tail. Actually, they don't run after the prey. They usually stalk. And once they come closer, then they spring. We see them airborne trying to catch the birds. Mpo is trying hard to curb the grasses here. I've never seen actually the kittens. It's only one time. Amy loves leopards. I think this has been a cat Saturday, and actually we've seen a lot of cats this morning. From Chris to Leon and Cedric, I think everyone is on a cat mood. And it's always nice to see the Savo, I would say, who is spotted, striped, very solitary. Not much is known about the Savo actually. Though they are very much widespread, they like any place with a tall grass, and that's where we are. They go after mice as well as many different species of birds that nest on the ground. I'll still try and change the location, the position. See whether I can get a glimpse of it. They like this tall grass that really camouflage them. They are very active, usually early mornings and late afternoons. Meanwhile, I'll send you over to Chris and see how Kaleo is doing with the cubs.
Good luck with the Savo on the southern part, James. We're still here with the Smash Pride. What is so fascinating is how everybody has got a chance to have a bite on the prey based on the hierarchy. So at some point we did see Okingo limping in, and now he is the one on the dining table. The babies have kept on moving from one male, one father to the other, and they're being accommodated without any problems or any fightings. The only thing I saw is one of the aunts could not really accommodate her. They could accommodate the babies, and they moved away from her. So that is one of the babies who is moving towards Moja Moja. Moja Moja had no problem with the baby at all. But that close by aunt who could not entertain the baby that much. You can see what is happening, but Moja Moja will lick the baby. I can only pick 4 of them. One of them has walked away, but at least 3 are still present here. I request repositioning slightly so that we can have a view of the other male and the 2 babies. No. It seems so, Matthew, and yes, it is evident by the fact that she has priority and she could chase one of the male out of the prey. I think that is one of the male who is lower in the hierarchy. She commands great respect. That's yes, Pam, so much has changed, and for them to have held such a great coalition, this is also one of the factors which has contributed to their survival. Remember, for a long time, we never thought a big pride will be commanded by more than one, two, or many lions in one pride. But that, in effect, is very positive. One, they're able to work together as a team to be able to bring down big prey. The second one, which is very important, is genetic variability, of genetic variation. Because as you can see here, these cubs, no one will ever know who is the really father. Remember, most of the time the cats, especially the lions, will have what we call superfecundation, where there's a release of more than ova during the oestrus, which practically it can be fertilized by a different sperm from a different male because of the promiscuity when it comes to mating. So that in itself has improved the genetic variations of the lions. Yeah, Moja Moja is playing, or one of the babies is playing with Moja Moja. The other one is with the other dad. But I believe it's time we go on and look and see some giraffes.
We can indeed show you some giraffes. We have got a female right in front of us. She's only about 15 meters in front of the car, pretty much standing on the road, enjoying the seed pods from an otherwise relatively unpalatable silver cluster leaf tree. But you can see there's lovely little pink seed pods hanging there. They will contain plenty of nutrition. And you can see we've got two little youngsters in the background as well, and there's another female off to the left. So we've got two mums and two calves. You always get the impression these two youngsters are like, nah, we can't reach up there, so we're just going to stand around in the peripheries and wait. But Mum's having a field day up there. Plenty of food that she's found. You can just hear the sort of stripping away of foods. Pretty sure she's going for the seed pods. It's hard to see in amongst all the leaves, but generally speaking, silver cluster leaf leaves are not browsed very heavily because they are very, very rich in tannin. For those of you who have ever tasted one will know exactly what I mean. It dries your mouth out almost instantly, and it's just the tree's way of defending itself. And it will also increase the amount of tannin in its leaves as well. Under a situation like this, those leaves will be becoming less and less palatable. The tree will understand that it is in danger, that it's being attacked, and is pressing more and more and more tannin into those leaves to try and encourage the animal to move on. It's amazing to watch Granny Mango, hey, particularly with that tongue coming out and sort of lassoing those little seed pods and pulling them back into the mouth. It was odd, we saw that one the other day whose tongue was hanging out the whole time. Still not sure what was going on in that situation. But that is a very specialized, almost like an elephant's trunk. A giraffe's tongue can be up to 40 to 50 centimeters long, and very dark in color, which is thought to be, although not proven, excess melanin in the sun just to protect that sensitive skin from the sunlight when they're out feeding all day, constantly sticking that tongue out just to avoid getting some sunburn. It also doesn't have much of blood flow to it, because if you do get pricked by an acacia thorn or a spine or something, you don't want to bleed too much. But the tannins within the leaves will also assist. Of course, tannins have been used for many years to stem blood flow. I remember when I had my wisdom teeth taken out, they didn't give me any fancy medication. I had some painkillers, but they also said to put a tea bag in there, because of the tannins, just helps to numb that area and close the capillaries and just stop any potential bleeding. Okay, well, it seems this giraffe is just checking out on the peripheries. There's a wildebeest and the other giraffe in the direction she's looking, but let's send you back over to Cedric, who's stuck in an elephant roadblock.
Thank you, Benjamin. Oh yeah, we are still here with these elephants. As you can see, still resting. Oh, finally looks like this male's getting, oh, maybe a yawn. Oh, I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, the big boy here. A little one in the middle and a female at the back, and there's another male further behind. But yeah, I just want to say a huge thank you to Bush Tech for sponsoring the Sunrise Safari on this lovely Saturday morning. Thank you so much for those beautiful, luxurious tents that has been sponsored here at Chitwa, as well as in Sandringham. And yeah, they're very comfortable. Thank you, Bush Tech. Also, some nice, interesting news. I've got some nice, actually happy news. I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy this part. Is that they've just located on Kuchava, a leopardess known as Kuchava, and her daughter Rulani as well. And guess what? And Shapuku, her son. All three of them together. Yeah, just unfortunately, just to the east of Chitwa in a place called Nkoro. And I'm hoping that they are going to move west during the day. And we're going to try and follow up on those three leopards this afternoon. So there we go, everybody. Shapuku is around, just to let you know. A little bit of concern about his whereabouts. Oh, I just love how these elephants sleep. They just rest like this. Just trunks on the ground. Can imagine those heavy trunks just extended to the ground and rest. Usually the younger ones, it's funny that the youngsters are not there, but not lying down flat. There we go. Look at that. How he's just putting it on the ground. Even the little one. Now, as to these elephants is pretty much, when it comes to the family herds, it's a matriarch, usually the oldest female, and then with all the ladies, and then the youngsters. The males don't tend to hang around with the females. The males get pushed out, and only now and again they'll join a herd just to see if there's a female in heat, if the male's in must. If not, then he'll move on. So this guy's not going to hang around with this female at all. I think they've just decided to stop here together, have a bit of a rest. There is more elephants in the background, so I think she might be part of a bigger herd here. You can see that temporal gland, see that wetness behind her eyes. Definitely leaking quite a bit this morning. I won't be surprised if that happened due to this male being around. Yeah, a little bit of agitation, maybe excitement. I'm not too sure, but that usually happens when they go through those emotions. You can see she's also got her trunk on the ground. Well, as I said a little bit earlier, usually like the younger ones will lie down Their body ain't so heavy like the big and the older males and females. And you can find the youngsters lying on the ground. Well, they're just enjoying a good old rest. And using a little bit of the shade from the terminalia. Riley, no worries. It's nice to have the updates, always. If I get the updates, I always share it. I know that a lot of you also invest a lot of your time in our characters, so it's always nice just to share exactly what's been happening around here and what information I get. Very peaceful scene, this. I'm actually enjoying this. Almost my eyes were like rolling back. Same as BK saying the same. He's like, yo, it's the most peaceful scene this at the moment, that we feel like these elephants. We'll have our little 20-minute nap here with these elephants. Oh, they've chosen a little bit of a better spot. They're in the shade. I decided to stop in the sun. This is not wise. Alright, so yeah, so we're going to slowly amble away from these illies. And then while we do that, let's head back to the Mara with...
Hey Cedric, thank you. Yeah, while you're holding on to the elephants or leaving the elephants, I'm still holding on to this pride, which is feeding. One thing which is evident is everybody knows his or her position in the pride. Kaleo came in, ate, and she's moved away. She's left it for these 3 boys and the 2 females who are there. And that is now Okingo, who is trying to walk away. Zuri is moving in. So there is clear understanding who comes when. And that is very important, especially when there is enough meat for all of them. Otherwise, if there isn't, the weaker ones will end up suffering. And that is one of the reasons we have high infant mortality when it comes to the lions, because there's no priority given to the babies. That is Zuri taking over from Okingo. The females are still at bay slightly, but they've picked a few scraps here and there. They will come pick one of the loose meat, go out, feed on it, and hold on for another chance again. So as much as most of the time, 85% or so, hunt is done by the females, when it comes to feeding, it's all about power. And the males will have that opportunity of snatching or taking over the prey from the weaker females. The hunting success is quite well for these pride, because wherever we come across, they're really on it. They're really making use of their strength in numbers, bringing down bigger preys, and ensuring at least most of the members have had a piece of the meat before they move out. That is Moja Moja with short tail. He's also partaking. Thomas, it's has to be when they feel there's a chance. When the lions have moved away, then we will see the scavengers streaming in. I've not seen the other scavengers. I did see some jackals around, but they have moved away. The hyenas are still not very far from this position. The vultures have not started circling. So it's until when they get an opportunity, probably when the lions have moved away, or at least 1 or 2 lions is left, and then they can mob it and take over the position. I see one of the jackals coming in. But you know, sometimes these the jackals sometimes are entertained by the male lions because they only pick a small piece and they move out. Yes, Raphael, it's just one of those great sightings we have this morning. The feast is big, the meat is big enough for all of them. At least everybody within the pride has got a piece of it.
Let's go and take a look. See you out there.
Best sighting I've presented. I found myself with wild dogs. We chased the dogs around, chased them around. They ate an impala. We got the end of that. Then another impala went into Gowrie Dam down the road there, and the wild dogs went around. Eventually the impala came close to the bank. One wild dog went and grabbed it and then just pulled it out and just did what wild dogs do. It was an emotional experience, but it was very, very special.
Wow, that's amazing, everybody. We'll see you there.
Oh, have a look at this.
Wow, wow, wow.
I don't know where to look. This is too astounding for words. Unreal. This is what they call a shambe, a family, a whole herd of elephants.
Nature is just everything.
We will be extending the show by a few minutes.
A fascinating animal that kind of draws people to it.
We'll see you out on the safari.
One of the greatest roles of the scavengers is to avoid further infections because they have such great adaptations. For instance, the vultures are able even to digest dangerous viruses like anthrax, which will otherwise be easily spread. So they discontinue further spread of viruses, cleaning up, and that in all helps the whole ecosystem. The males are still enjoying the last bits of the prey, and over to my colleague Ben. Apologies our viewers, it is over to Leon and not Ben. Over.
Well, welcome back. It's amazing how quickly this morning has flown by. And we've just been past the area where the Timbiri female leopard was yesterday evening. Checked the trees that she liked to use. No sign, but it's been a great morning from all sides, hasn't it? A real cat morning. Lots of action, some sad moments, some special sightings. We've had a lot of fun out here, that's for sure. We are at a little pan on Old Orpin Road, just before we join Avoca Road, which is the sort of main access road into Sandringham that we use. And there's some white-faced ducks there. Always nice to see them. Black-crowned chagra calling. Black-headed oriole calling. Gentle breeze blowing. Cool and cloudy, but extremely pleasant, and we've had a wonderful time out here today. Looks like there's a vehicle might be coming along this road shortly. I wonder who they are. Anyway, from us here at Sandringham, Cam and myself, Leon, and from the rest of the presenters and camera operators and from all our directors, a very big thank you to all of you for joining us this morning. It's been great, and we look forward to doing another one this afternoon. So please join us for the Sunset Safari this afternoon. It starts at 4 o'clock Central Africa time. So we look forward to another one. Thanks again from us. Until then, have a wonderful day and goodbye.
Coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Saturday SafariLIVE. My name is James Mungai, and on the cams is none other than Mumpo. Today we have Chris and Wendy at the Governors, which is north of Masai Mara. We had a plan for the cats. This morning we saw a pride of lions. And actually I was to go look for some cubs, Sad River cubs. But here comes our none other than Nasieku. Nasieku has been here for 2 days. Kaidre, remember to interact with us, ask questions, and engage us on social media. For 2 days in a row, Nasieku has not been moving a lot. She has really slowed down. And we think that she's going to give us some New Year present. That is why we are checking on her each and every time. The last time she hunted was the day before yesterday, where she brought out a Thompson gazelle that she never ate much, and she has been hanging around here for 2 consecutive days. So we're anticipating that probably this evening or very early tomorrow, she needs some meal. She has been napping in the same area generally since 7 o'clock this morning. Fistuya, we are very happy to have you on board, so you're welcome, and let's engage in 1 hour's time. Here we have Nasieku being in the shade. Actually, I can see that she's stretching a little bit. It's cooling down now. It has been really hot, 28 degrees in Celsius. I think that's the main reason that she has not been moving. She's very much on an uphill, and I can see plenty of gazelles. But meanwhile, I'll send you over to Chris and Wendy to say jambo to you.
Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christopher, and on comes I have Wendy. We are on the western side of Masai Mara, and our plan today is to look around what is happening on the plains. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a live and interactive session. We thank you and encourage you to send all your questions and comment as we mooch on the plains of Mara, which is already dotted with a few of the ungulates, the waterbuck, the Defasa waterbuck, the impala, and the rest of the plain antelopes. As you can see, most of them are actually carrying on horns. Yes, we have at least 3 species. Yes, Richard, it is quite big, but you can see the difference in the shape of the horns. Okay, but apparently all these 3 different species out here, they are males. Remember, the impalas, only the males will carry the horns. They belong to the Apesritoni tribe. We have the Fasa waterbuck, which belong to the Redunka tribe. Only the males have horns. And then we have the Topi, who is in the Alcelafini tribe of the antelopes. Both the males and the females have horns. However, the similarity between the waterbuck and the Topi is their reproduction or the breeding system. They all have what we call a lek, or they do lekking as the breeding system, where there is a congregation of males and the stronger one will take the middle or the center part, which will be the most preferred by the female in estrus. Also, the Topi and the waterbuck will prefer the floodplains and open grasslands, while the impalas are mixed feeders, so you find them in both the habitats. In the bushland, in the grassland. That's where we have the habitats for the impalas. And this, for the impala, this is what we call the bachelor's hut or the boys' club. In such type of associations or coexistence, you find that they all help one another. Benjamin, when it comes to the largest horns, on size, I think it's the buffalo because it's huge, but on length we have the kudus, especially the greater kudu, which has a two-spiraled horn, or the horns are have two spirals, and then the lesser kudu, which we find them around this place, but they are browsers, so you find them deep into the bushland. They have 1.5 spiral horn. So mass-wise, the buffalo, but lengthwise, we have the greater kudu. So in this type of organization, we find that they will rather keep up together because they help one another to spot the predators. And somehow, due to their being close to one another, they learn each other's alarm call, and wherever one is spooked, it raises an alarm which draws attention to quite a number of them, and they will run away. But each and every one has got slightly different defensive mechanism. The waterbucks, because of the sebaceous glands, they emit these greasy fluids which helps the water to their body to become waterproof. Jerome, not exactly. All of them have they evolved to have different breeding, because when you look at that, the mate selection is totally different from different species, and that is one of the reasons we have what you call reproductive isolation. They cannot pick each other's what we call cues, reproductive cues, and that's what separates them. So that has taken long to be identical, or to be separate and different from all the species. For instance, the impalas will have the breeding herd and the bachelor's herd. The toppies will prefer the lacking system, but they're also quite territorial. The same with the Defasa waterbucks. So the sebaceous glands in the Defasa waterbuck produces that musky smell, which sometimes is a deterrent to the predators. And there is an assumption, I caught that, an assumption that the meat is not so preferred by the lions because it is watery and stinky. Not very sure about it, but at least from a distance you can hear the musky smell coming out of the sebaceous glands, which is kind of gives them that iconic smell. I will reposition shortly so that we can have a better look of the antelopes in the plains and all those other animals which are dotting the western side, on the western side of Mara. But while I do that, I will hand over to James, who still has the cheetah.
Good luck, Chris, with the relocation and the waterbuck. With us here, Nasieku is still napping, but usually in the cheetah, they don't need a lot of time to jumpstart themselves. They usually wake up, and without stretching much, they can decide to go and hunt. So her sleeping, Nasieku, doesn't mean that it's going to take her long before she can give us quite some action. The fact that we understand she's pregnant, I think she's taking much more easy. Where we are, it's quite low-key. Maybe she has identified a location where she can give birth. And within 2 weeks, actually, we happen to see calves out of their birth place within 15 days or even 20 days. Yeah, so within the locality here, there's nice hills. We have realized that there's not much hyenas as she's been hunting, and we still find the leftover. So the density of hyenas is not as much. That means she exactly knows what she's doing. Actually, we have some news that there's another cheetah that have given birth to calves. At the moment, the rangers are working hard following that cheetah every day. That does not justify the fact that cheetahs synchronize their births, like give birth at the same time. Probably it's going to be a coincidence. Yeah, so we need a big team. Julian, I agree with you. Nasieku is one of the prettiest cheetahs we have around here. But remember, she's, quite juvenile. She's not very old. It's going to be her first litter. So we think that probably she's going to darken a little bit her coat. Even though cheetahs are uniformly the same, it's only that from one national park, national reserve to another, they change the color. But at the moment, I can say that Nasieku is one of the lightest colored cheetah that we have around. Usually the spots are on the flanks, on the belly, usually mostly cats and other animals, even antelopes. They have a white belly. This is an adaptation whereby in the heat of the day, oh, she's showing the belly. In the heat of the day, they reflect back the heat, and that will save them, a lot of time to go drink water, as they have to stay hydrated. The cheetahs are known not to visit water quite regularly. They can take intervals of up to 10 days, as they get a lot of their food supply from the prey. Actually, they eat the parts that have a lot of blood and water contents. So they rarely visit water, but in case they come across any water, they just drink it. Not as much as many other cats, as their diet is not very big. They don't eat very much of big prey. They don't eat very old animals, as they don't hunt anything beyond their weight. Actually, they go mostly for Thompson gazelles, which account for over 70%. Meanwhile, I'll take you back to Nasieku, one of the best moments. I can see her closing the eyes. She doesn't get bothered much with the flies like we do see happen with the lions. Actually, I'm tongue-tied because when I was talking and Nasieku was lucky. She was waiting for the hour for the show to start, and actually, immediately, she went for this baby impala. Wow, this is wonderful. She's got the fastest skill that I've ever seen in cheetah. She has realized that it's not long before the night falls, and she doesn't want to lose this good, well-earned prey. She has been patient the whole day, and actually the other day she lost her kill to the pride of lions. Cheetahs, unlike the dogs, they are actually equipped with the muscles, and their hunting strategy is that they have to overtake the prey within 300 meters. At this time, their breath goes up from 0 to 150 times, so it usually drains them a lot. And in case they miss a kill, then they need a break of half an hour to recover. So the strategy is very tricky. Where we are, I think it's quite a nice terrain, whereby it's mixed up with the bushes and very much open spaces in between. Actually, there's a lot of Thompson gazelles, and Nasieku doesn't have to travel far to get one of them. Much of the research Jason, I would say that the similarities that the cats share is that they'll be having a dew crow, even though it doesn't show very much into the cheetah. But to be considered a cat, all the crows retreat back to the seed. And for the cheetah, it doesn't retract completely because they need some traction when they are going to hunt. Yeah, so close is one of the similarities. They also purr. That means that they roar, or in case of the cheetah, they chirp. Yeah, so they make a contact call, and actually they are very much adapted to the savanna over here. The social structure for the cheetah is a bit different. Actually, the males born from the same litter can decide to hang around. Actually, the mothers give birth to the girls, like female young ones, and these female young ones will not move very far from the home range of the mother. So they share the same home range. But meanwhile, I'll hand you over to Chris.
Yeah, I hope she does, because the weather is also improving. As it cools up, we find that the cheetahs will be more active when it is too cold. It's a bit cool. Here we still have the waterbucks, but I would like to point out a few characteristics in them which help them to survive. First of all, they have such a big heart-shaped nose. And the heart-shaped nose, remember, it's all fluffy in the better part of the body, but the heart-shaped nose helps them to control the body temperatures in thermoregulation. They do have what we call the rete mirabile in most of the antelopes, starting with the dick. Even this one here, the rete mirabile is a network of capillaries which is close to, or it's a net, it's a wonder net. Rete actually means a wonder net, which surrounds the arteries which are taking the blood to the brain. So what happens is when it is too hot, they have what we call nasal panting or evaporative cooling around the nose, which ensures that the right temperatures of the blood reaches the brain. Okay, and then when you look at the neck, it also has those fluffy necks. Those fur are very thick. And also standing still, ensuring that in case a predator comes, most of the time they'll do strangulation. Those strong fur will go in between the teeth to try to immobilize. So it becomes very difficult to get it to an esophagus and strangle it or suffocate it. The horns are also brilliant. They use them for defense. They're front facing. They also have the rings, which makes them to be very, very stable when it comes to fighting, which helps them to defend themselves and to fight for territory. Yes, Pistias, thank you so much. It is a beautiful view. The waterbucks are giving us a show this afternoon. Okay, they're relentlessly moving up and down there, but they're very relaxed, feeding, and they're enabling us to see some of those special physiological adaptations. So the fluffiness, remember, the waterbucks are also very good swimmers. So the fluffiness also helps to insulate their bodies. But that adaptation of the bigger heart-shaped nose helps to make sure that at least they don't get too much, or the blood which goes into the brain does not really affect them that much. The other opposite part of the physiological adaptation and thermoregulation in the impala is slightly different. For the impalas, you can see they have a varied coloration from the lower side, which is white, and it becomes slightly darker, and then up on top, it's all darker colors. That is what we call counter shading. Now, for the impalas, how do they manage the body temperatures is totally different, because they've got what we call the rectapilla muscles, which will stand erect, erecting the fur when it is very cold to provide more insulation. But when then they becomes, or it warms up, then the rectapilla muscles will relax, giving them that shining reflective coat, which is a physiological adaptation to manage the body temperatures. So you can see each and every of the species evolve different strategies to be able to fit in the ecosystem and to be able to fit in that ecological niche. Yes, Shen, those are some of the beautiful antelopes we have in the plains. They are very varied in their characteristics, in their behaviors, and in the physiological aspect, which enables them to perfectly fit in ecological niche with less competition, because that is what is important in any ecosystem. What role does each species play, okay, and how do they interact with the other ones? So, like for this case, you see all of them are grazing at the same time. They don't have direct competition, but they help one another to protect to protect or to defend themselves by the fact that they share the same predators, and these predators, once they come, they will alert one another and run away. But that is more of a learned behavior. I don't expect it to be the same in different ecosystems. The topi we do see in this place is a sedentary male. The topi we see here is a sedentary male, so he's keeping within his territory. No, the waterbucks unfortunately they're not high springers or high jumpers like the impalas. They tend to gallop over a short period, and the best defense is swimming. So they don't go very far from where there is water. But otherwise, they also have those adaptations like I talked about, the hair in the neck, which also helps them to kind of deter the predation. But of course, the impalas will jump up to 2 meters high. And the reason why impalas will jump high, especially when they're spooked, is because in the process, then they will release the pheromones from the metatarsal glands, which will help them to regroup when the situation is worse, because they don't have such good eyesight. But and remember, those are the only antelopes which have the metatarsal glands. Okay, so high jump, kicking back is important for them. So the main predators of the impalas will be the cheetahs, the leopard, the lions, and because my friend has the cheetah on the other side, I hand over to James with the cheetah.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
My full name is Mpho Muthusi Tikani. I grew up in Soweto. My first animal that I filmed, Cedric Dodd. Okay, no, it's my first animal that I filmed, I think it was an impala. Best sighting ever, I would say it was actually this year, 2024. But it was this Cedric when we had Muluwati and TP on a warthog kill. I think we have to cut it.
Look at this. Wow, that's amazing, everybody. We'll see you there.
Oh, have a look at this.
Wow, wow, wow.
I don't know where to look. This is too astounding for words. This is unreal.
This is what they call a shambi, a family, a whole herd of elephants.
Nature is just everything.
We will be extending the show by a few minutes.
A fascinating animal that kind of draws people to it.
We'll see you out on the safari.
Around 100 cheetahs. We do have much more in Serengeti, but I would say that in total we are talking about 500 cheetahs. In the whole country we do have 1,500 cheetahs. So their numbers are not increasing, not decreasing, but much efforts are needed to save this cat. I was anticipating that Nasieku is going to wake up. It's still very hot. But behind the hill over there, not very far, I would say probably less than a kilometer, that's where one of the other mother cheetah has gotten her cubs that were discovered a week ago. It means that this is the nice time. Hope that all the young ones in the Rita, I understand there are 4 of them. If we get 2 out of the 4, that's a really good thing. I think the biggest number of any cheetah family sighted was 9. That is in Serengeti. But usually we have 3 or 4 in Narita. That only one time here in Masai Mara, one very successful mother gave birth to 6, and she actually brought them up. Cheetah are considered to be one of the best mothers in the savannah. As within months, they start training their young ones. They escort them to the hunting field. And actually, they start chasing hares, half kill them, and let the young ones complete the job. Ben, I would say that yes, cheetahs do take a larger prey, but that will happen mostly with males in a coalition. The coalition can be 2 or 3. Actually, out of the statistics, all the males, 40% they live solo, singular. Then 41% live in a pair. Then the other 19% live in a trio, or that means 3 or 4. So when there are 4, like in some time here in Masai Mara 5 years ago, we had one famous coalition called Tano Bora, that means the Great 5. And these Great 5 used to bring down a topi or a baby zebra sometimes. So that much depends on the individual, whether it's a single or a coalition, and how big is the coalition. For Nasieku here, I think she'll have a boom. This is a nice time to give birth, as at the moment, a lot of Thompson gazelle that consist much of her diet, they'll be dropping babies within this month, and that can be really a big advantage to any newborn or rather a mother who have given birth. Januaries are really good for this cheetah. Ronin, I would say that yes, I've seen cheetah crab trees. The other day, Nasieku went up a slanted down tree, not very high. It's a much of an adaptation. In areas where there is not much open plains, like Masai Mara, we do see especially cheetah cubs try to get up to the tree, which is about 2 to 3 meters. They're not very good climbers, but they attempt to climb trees, avoiding danger at the same time, because when they come down and they actually break their egg, that will be the end of it. Like, cheetahs highly avoid any confrontation or any breaking any of their limbs. In this case, we don't see much of hearted cheetah, like we do see lions with the scars. Cheetahs really take care and take it easy. If in doubt, when they have a play, they leave it out. Oh, Nasieku is showing us inside of her mouth. She's turning around. She's a little queen. Now we can see the coat is much more darker behind, being exposed to the sun most of the time. A good idea when we identify cheetah from a leopard is cheetah is one finger, dots made out of one finger, where a leopard is rosettes, meaning that put 3 fingers together, then make dots out of that. So the dots form a circle. I think she's making herself more comfy. A week ago, I saw her eat grass. And eating grass in the cats means that, their stomach is a little bit not good, so they want to induce vomiting. So I saw her do that, and maybe that was my first time to see a cheetah eat grass, even though it wasn't a big mouthful. It's a very beautiful tail. Always cheetah have a white tip on their tail. This is what they use when they have cubs as they walk in tall grass. Parks, I would say that as long as they are 10 years old, they are still in good angle and speed. Recently, I think we had a cheetah by the name Nora. She was 13 years old, and she was having difficulties hunting. Actually, she used to abort the kill, meaning that she was trying to get a prey, but it escaped. So I think they are good as much as they are 10 to 11 years. Very small head in relative to the body. The head actually with the open nostrils help them cool down. But meanwhile, I'll hand you over to Chris, who have found us an ostrich.
Yeah, James, don't worry. That's a sign of it waking up. While you got the fastest animal on land, I got the second fastest. This is the Maasai ostrich, Ostruthio camelus, but a female. They evolved to have strong limbs, which have claws at the end of it all for defense because they lost the power to fly. And these are what we call the ratatites, which are distributed on the planet in different continents. Each and every continent has its own ratatite. Ratatite means the flightless birds. When you go to the South America, we have the ree, we have ostrich in Africa, we have the crosseries, the emu in the other parts of the continent. They have a keel and they have a lot of muscles. They still retain their wings, and the wings are important for different purposes. One of them is when they are running, it helps them to balance. Another point is to cool themselves, because they will flap the wings when it is very hot. As much as they will open the mouth to allow evaporative cooling, but the wings will also play a part. For ostriches, of course, they have to sit on their eggs, which takes a long period of time, at least 42 days. and the wings will help to insulate the body and also to have the optimum temperatures while they're incubating the eggs. So much is talked about their intelligence. They are not very intelligent, but you can see the morphological adaptation supersedes the intellectual part of it. The egg is pretty big, and they evolved to have that hard shell on the egg, which is about, which will weigh up to 1.5 kilos, and they will lay as many as 20 in one go or communal nesting. Sasha, a fully grown ostrich has a weight of about 150 kilos. So I believe the force put in that is too big even to dispatch the lions or lionesses, especially the lionesses, to the next world. They are strong kicks, and remember, it also has a claw at the end of the bigger toe. They only have 2 toes at the end of that powerful leg. However, the lions and the cheetahs will still remain the main predators of the ostriches. And while they're still nesting, the eggs are vulnerable to one species of vulture we call the Egyptian vulture, which is a tool-using vulture. It will pick up the rocks, fly with the rock, and drop it on the eggs to smash the hard shells, which can even withstand the weight of a person, an average person. When you look at the color differences, because ostriches have a clear sexual dimorphism, the males will be black and white, while the females will be brown. Arya, I believe, yes, because most of the time they're feeding on leaves, grasses. They're omnivores, and they'll feed on grasses, shoots. So in absence of water, you don't see them quite mostly drinking water. When it is not available, then the physiological adaptations will kick in. Remember, they do excrete, or the excrement, or the fecal matter. Remember, the excrement will also have concentrated urea, which means they do extract a lot of water through their physiological adaptation. So they can stay quite a long period without drinking water, simply because it is supplemented from what they feed on. If we look at it, it's actually opening the mouth. That is also one way of cooling themselves. It is still hot here in this side of Mara, so they open up to allow evaporative cooling in their inner part of their mouth. So the sexual dimorphism in the ostriches is important, because when it comes to sitting on the eggs, both the male and the female will sit on the eggs at different times of the day, based on the coloration of the feathers. The female will sit on the eggs during the day, which gives an optimum temperature because it is hot and it is brown in color, so the eggs are well protected. Then at night, the male will sit on the eggs. Because of the dark coloration, it will hold some heat from the ground, because normally in the open savanna grassland it can be very chilly, especially after midnight. So the dark coloration helps to hold on to the heat being radiated from the ground and ensures that the eggs have optimum temperatures for successful incubation. I think having big eyes is important because they're always on the ground, and for them to be able to flee away, they need to see the predator first. So as much as people say the eyes are bigger than the brains, but they're very useful for them. Over to James with the cheetah, who has some more activities.
While Chris is watching the fastest bird on earth, we are watching the cheetah here. Actually, now she's up and she's becoming active, scanning around. Her big rounded pupils help her to scan and see very far. There she is, stretching. Unlike the leopard and lion that have vertical pupils, cheetahs are really made for the day. It has actually cooled down a little bit, and now she can move around. I'm sure she needs some food. And she has that tendency of killing in the evening, as they usually kill early morning or late evening when the other predators are not yet up. Like we discussed earlier, doesn't take them long to warm up. They don't need a lot of coffee. I saw some soda, some young platy warthogs. She actually can go for that. But I think she prefers the tummy that will keep her going. She's very much upwind from where she is, so she can easily approach the prey without being noticed. Yeah, she's getting really focused. Being alone, she's not easily spotted by the prey, unlike the lions that actually travel in a big pride, and when they have cubs, they have a problem with the prey detecting them. Wow, what a nice stretch there. It's the morning gym. As the muscles get stiff, she's been sleeping the whole day. She has to test her clothes whether they are still intact. And there she is. Amanda, she's not nervous. She has to actually scan around and make sure that there's no other predator around, like she left it this morning. It's just an insurance and to be on the safe side. I think she's spotting a little bit of a small harem, not many than 20 gazelles. Most of them are seated down. We never know. Anything can happen between now and 10 minutes. She actually makes her mind very quickly. Being alone, she makes her own decision without consulting any other. Sometimes in a pride, it's tricky because we have lions actually strategizing. They have a different advantage over each other. Some are stalkers, others are good at striking. But for the cheetah, she combines all, and she has no other one to consult. So whenever she's hungry, and she goes for it. She's calculating her moves. The other day we saw she changed her mind from the Thompson that escaped her, and she went for a reed back. So she can as well be opportunist. Whatever comes her way, and she doesn't have to think twice. They are very fond of the termite mound, as it gives her very nice vantage point. So once they wake up, they usually use the termite mounds. They use the bushes a little bit for cover, but she doesn't mind getting closer to those Thompson gazelles. She's very sensitive. Actually, she doesn't have to use her nose as much as the lions because she's not very much good in picking the scent. I would say that the black marks that we call tear marks, being a day hunter, she needs to reduce the reflection of the sunlight into her eyes. And I think in human, when we play soccer or any other game, we do see people paint their under the eyes black. This is to minimize the sunlight and increase the vision. As we do have mostly nocturnal animals, not only the cats, also antelopes, like the waterbuck, they do have a white marking instead of black. That will increase the view. The back of the ears is also black. We call that for me sign. As all the cats, whenever they have cubs, they're walking in the tall grass, and the cubs will just keep a track of the mother. So animals have markings not only for beauty, but also to enable them keep in a group or in a family. In the past, cheetahs have responded well. We had a lady by the name Joy Adamson. Actually, she studied cheetah a lot, as the husband, George Adamson, used to stay with the lion, and she rescued one of the cheetahs, northern part of the country. And cheetahs can as well be tamed as dogs. In history, they have been used as dogs for hunting. But nowadays, actually, it's not recommended. Over here, all animals are free. They eat when they can. They do keep themselves safe. Over the years, I think we are getting more and more cheetah. The problem now will be the range. As the population, human population is going up, so they are confined to the national parks. They don't do very well with the human. We do get leopards close to human without interference, but cheetahs actually avoid any human interaction. That's why they are much more plenty in Serengeti and Masai Mara. Meanwhile, I'll hand you over to Chris and enjoy the piglets.
Yeah, that's a good sign. Standing on a vantage point to scan around is signs for good things to come for the cheetah. While here on the western side, we do have the warthogs. Quite 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 piglets. These are shared between the two mothers. The warthogs will have quite a big litter, and they also have quite a short gestation period of at least 4 months. That shows these are selected population strategists, which produces quite a number of litters because they're quite vulnerable when they're still young. So at least a few of them will make it to adulthood. Pigs will belong to a Suidae family, and in our ecosystem we have at least 3 members of the Suidae family: the giant forest hog, the bush pig, and the warthog. The warthog is the only one which is diurnal, and you find it in the open savanna grassland. They do have sparsely fur on their skin, and that is why most of the time they have to wallow in mud to help them control the body temperatures, and also to kill all the ectoparasite. As they're wallowing in mud, they're crushing all the ectoparasite, and once the mud dries up, then it falls down with all those ticks which could be on top. And also they also have a mutualistic relationship with all the oxpeckers, which will stand or will follow them to pick.
Hello, I'm James Hendry, and I'd like to take you on a very different kind of safari through the wild heart of Madagascar. In Undersea, we'll track the Indri's eerie call through misty rainforest. Then, It's east on to Masuala, where lemurs leap through the jungle, coral reefs glow beneath the waves, and adventure waits around every bend. Come, let's explore it together.
My full name is Mpho Muthusi Tikani. Best part of my job is coming to see nature. Worst part of my job is logging. That's the worst thing ever, because you have to log amount of footage. You sit in front of that computer and yeah, you think of deleting the footage, but no, they need the footage. If I want a camel, probably a soccer player. I know some people don't believe me, but I'm very good, and I'm very fast.
Look at this. Wow, it's amazing, everybody. We'll see you there. Oh, have a look at this.
Wow, wow, wow.
I don't know where to look. This is too astounding for words.
Unreal. This is what they call a shambe, a family, a whole herd of elephants.
Nature is just everything.
We will be extending the show by a few minutes.
A fascinating animal that kind of draws people to it.
We'll see you out on the safari.
So with the Hippopotamidae, the Suidae and Hippopotamidae are artiodactylous or even hoofed mammals which are non-ruminants. I will reposition slightly so that we can have a good look at them. No, they cannot climb on obstacles. They can easily run into the burrows to escape or run to escape predation. But going into obstacles like on the tree is very difficult for them because they are hoofed. But they also have some good speed, quite fast when they mean to run away. And sometimes the fully grown males will, or the females with the canines, they will attack or they will turn back and attack. So with the type of the feeding they have, they can access very short grasses. The roots which are very nutritious. And remember, sometimes during the drought, they can dig on the tubers. Most of the plants, during the drought, you find that the tubers are underground, the rhizomes are underground, and that is why with the snout, they are able to have some food when the conditions are not favorable. One of them is actually going into the burrow, as you can see, but over to James with the cheetah. You can see the
Thank you, Chris. Over here, Nasieku have changed her mind. I think she still have 2 hours of daylight. We do have a full moon, so actually, occasionally, cheetahs can hunt even when it's very late in the evening. She calculated her move and probably thought the gazelles are very close to the one wildebeest, so it's not a nice move for her. Cheetahs are usually very, very careful. They don't want to actually attempt and lose it. They'll rather wait until it's the right time. As using energy to hunt and they don't get the return, it really drains their whatever energy they have, as their breath goes up 150 times. So it's not worth it. So meanwhile, I think she had decided to take it easy, stay under the shade, and much of those gazelles probably they'll get closer by themselves. She's still upwind, so she has no problem. Now that she did her stretches, she's sure that everything is okay. She can wait. But every few minutes, she's rolling over, look aloud. Sometimes it's hard to, know what is in these animals' mind. We try to predict, but they know better. Nasieku stands out with the tear mark as it's broken on the mouth. This is a big advantage to anyone to understand that all the tear marks are one down stripe from the eye to the mouth, but for Nasieku, come to the mouth, both sides it's broken. So it's a very easy way to tell Nasieku from any other cheetah around. I like the way she's waving her ears, being very well groomed and no wound around her. Duckman lover, welcome. We really need your presence as it's Mara magic over here. I can say that Nasieku still has got a little bit of she have a little bit of a mane. They keep these men until they are fully mature. And young ones are really, really heavily maned. Actually, we miss a lot of the young ones because they are fully camouflaged in tall grass. She's taking it easy. I think she has decided to wait until the sun is completely down. Meanwhile, this has been a cutter day. From this morning, we saw the Pride of Lions. Nasieku is there to keep us company. We hope that she gives us new ones very soon. Not forgetting the team and all the viewers. Thank you for being with us. From us here, bye-bye. See you tomorrow morning for the Mara Live. Asante sana.